Today on the TMZ Podcast.
All right, hey guys, welcome to the TMZ Podcast. Brendon here with Courtney Doucette.
Hi.
And we have so much to talk about today because last night was part 2 of the Vanderpump Rules reunion.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really give a lot for me. Like, they tease so much of what's coming up, and then it's like stuff that's for next week.
It did, but it also like did like a build up because you still had like the Raquel parts that like you like wanted to like hear from her. Andy asked her, how did you feel about like this like situation ending with Ariana? Did you guys really think that you could ever be friends with it? And when she actually thought that they could be friends after and like it all would be fine, I was like, she is about to walk in to an experience she's not prepared for. If she actually thought that Ariana could come out of it fine, and that her and Tom like were just going to tell everyone, and that like Sheena was going to get over the restraining order so fast, and Lala and James were going to come for her, I'm like, you have no idea what's waiting for you. And Tom did try to like warn her going into like next week, like Ariana will come for you.
There was that interesting scene where Tom and Raquel are in the trailer, and he's asking the producer, can you turn the cameras off? And the producer's like,
I actually
listen.
think we have a clip of it.
Yeah, let's take a listen.
Hey, can we like have can we have like a for real break where we're not like being filmed?
Yeah, you want to go back and get lunch right now?
Yeah, but can I just like chat with her like without like
that'd be nice.
like
Cameras are up if anyone's together like the whole time.
dude, no man. Like no.
You can have time
taking
being,
my mic off.
You can have time if you need time to yourself, but if y'all are together, you know.
Dude, I just want to sorry.
I know, but if you're together, you know.
We're just we just need
that's
breath,
part of what it is, you know?
I want to talk to her like I don't want to camera my goddamn face.
We won't.
You're not understanding.
That is a good producer.
It really is. Well, we actually got these photos and video, but we couldn't hear the conversation that was happening. And I was so excited to be like, that's what we like got the images of. And it was so good.
And there's only one thing that makes you think, okay, this was Tom in that situation. He wanted to coach Raquel.
Mm-hmm.
She hadn't really come out on the set yet.
Because Ariana's been saying that this entire time, like he wanted to coach me on this show, and that then going like back and forth on that. And Tom's like, no, you were coaching me all the time. And
Right.
she was like, no, it's you. You want to get your story straight. We already saw in part 1 that Tom and Tom did not have the timeline straight when they were going over when the affair started, and Tom Schwartz kind of like blew his cover that it happened like months prior.
And you have to remember, Raquel is watching this from a trailer, so she's seeing the live feed coming
I love
from
the cutaway
set.
shots. They're
They're the
so
best.
brilliant.
And the one where they tease is it Sheena from like coming up in next week, and she's like sitting in the trailer with her White Claw.
Oh my God, I love the White Claw and
walks
slippers
out
on.
the set.
Yes, she still looks so angry.
I love Ariana.
Mm-hmm.
Team Ariana.
Oh boy.
But I wish she's cutting off Tom so much.
Yes.
That part of me wishes she'd let him speak a little bit before she cuts him off, because maybe he's going to say something that's going to reveal something that we don't already know. They're all very quick to cut each other off and say F you and F that and don't speak and you're spinning this.
She even shushed him at one point last night.
Yeah, I wish they would give. I know people are like, oh, I don't want to hear from Tom Sandoval. He did an awful thing. But I wish people, that's why they do these reunions.
Well,
it's for
she
everyone
keeps
to be
saying,
able
though,
to tell
everything
their side
that
of the
he's
story.
saying is a lie. Like,
Yeah.
it's all a lie that he's coming out. It's all just, like, made up. And I will say, I'm kind of like, oh, was Ariana right about the coaching thing? Because when Tom leaves the stage again, like when they have to do the switch between Sheena and Raquel, Tom's in the parking lot smoking a cigarette, and he goes, I've blown it. And he says something about, like, blowing it. And I'm like, what story did you not have lined up with Raquel, and now she's about to walk in there, and you're going to have to face that timeline also doesn't match up?
I also think it's interesting that Raquel, she filed that restraining order against Sheena, which prevented them from being on the set together.
Oh, that was so annoying.
So annoying. And then the day of the reunion, she conveniently has her attorney go to court and file to dismiss the restraining order that she had filed like 3 weeks prior. Like, of all days to do it, okay.
Well,
I don't know if she thought that was going to help her.
Me neither, because Andy said it was filed on this day. And the previous day, there was also footage of Raquel talking to Andy where she says that she regrets filing the restraining order. File it then, so it could have gone through the court system, so we could have seen them on stage together. But I don't know if she just wasn't prepared to actually see Sheena, just because that's who she was the closest to other than Ariana. And she was there with Sheena that night on Watch What Happens Live when the story came out. So I don't know if she was actually prepared to see her, because she even was like, I wish I would have wrote Scheana a letter, like watching this more and more. I'm having realizations about like the regrets I should have. And I'm like, you had to watch your friends cry to realize that you shouldn't have slept with your best friend's boyfriend. It was so fascinating to watch her talks like with Andy, because she actually really feel like she did nothing wrong. She even said, I was living in my own world, my own bubble, where I thought that it would all be fine and we would just go off and start dating after he broke up with Ariana. And what reality would that ever happen after a 9-year relationship? You just start dating your best friend's boyfriend and everything just goes smooth.
I do agree. I do think Tom and Raquel thought that if this did get out, because they have talked about how they were planning to tell Ariana, and Tom admits that he had waited too long in that scene when he films with Tom Schwartz during the Sandoval episode.
Yes.
But I get this vibe, like what you're saying is like almost like Tom and Raquel thought that this, maybe once everyone found out and time passed, things would die down, people would move on, friendships would be repaired, people would have an understanding or accept it and move on. But that's not happening here.
That's not happening at all. Raquel still doesn't give Lala for sleeping with James. She's still upset about that. If you're still upset about this girl that you weren't even friends with sleeping with your boyfriend at the time, and you're still upset about it, how do you think your best friend's gonna react to actually sleeping with the guy that she did like? When Andy asked her, was like, were you going to tell them? And she was like, well, I actually don't know, like, if Ariana did want to know. But after talking to Ariana that night on Watch What Happens Live, she did want to know, like, if like we were having an affair. What are you talking about? And she was like, well, Ariana like never questioned me. Why would I question my best friend if you're sleeping with my boyfriend? Why would that ever be a thought? She was living in just this fantasy world. And I'm like, Raquel, girl, you better.
Hot mess.
I cannot wait for next week. This part wasn't the greatest because you heard a lot about the storyline that you didn't want to hear. Lala, great storyline. Don't care. Allie, don't really care about your storyline.
I know, 10 minutes of Allie.
I know. I like sped through it and I was like, I need more Ariana.
I'm like, okay. But then I go back to the Ellie stuff because I always think about like she was the whistleblower in a sense of this and bringing up that she saw them dancing together at the Abbey that night. But that's the one part they didn't even talk about.
Right. They didn't even bring that up. It
they
was
talk
all
about her
her
relationship
and
with James. Yeah.
Yes, at least be like, you were the one to bring it on screen that they were dancing at the Abbey. How do you feel about that? Like, you didn't even bring her into the Sandoval stuff.
Also, I'm like a little bit over. I'm like, if James walks off the set one more time, too much making it about him.
Andy's over it.
Andy's over it, but Andy needs to bring it back again to like.
He does.
We need to focus it on Ariana and Tom and Raquel. Like, that is who we want to hear from.
Yes. Well, I loved it when James was like,
Raquel.
Every time I hear Tom speak, I get angry and I have to pee. I'm like, that cannot be real. But I did love the teaser when Tom Schwartz, like right before Raquel comes out, he takes out the biggest bottle of Xanax I've ever seen, just right out of his coat pocket and just starts popping one as soon as he sees Raquel walking out. And all the cast is like, are you just popping a Xanax right now?
I'm really curious also, like just thinking ahead, like, because they start filming the new season at the end of next month.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of them have said like they're not going to film with Tom and Raquel. And like, I get it, but also like without them, what is the show?
There is no show because
scandal.
Raquel, even before the storyline came out, Raquel was the show like this season. All like the stuff that she did, Raquel was carrying it because the other cast like really wasn't doing it. Tom and Tom were so stressed out with the bar, and that was like kind of a storyline. And then Lala was just so protective, and I think that she has to be because of all like the court legal stuff that she's going through with Randall, but she really didn't have one. Scheana was just so boring. Like, she lives out in Marina Del Rey. They're all out in like village, like Valley Village, so like she's not even part of it. And James is always just like James, so like Raquel was holding it down and was like getting all like the stuff already in it. So I don't know what they need Raquel. And she did say she wanted to come back.
She did say she wanted to come back, but like, who knows? I mean, that was filmed before she checked into this mental health facility that she's in, that she's allegedly still in. So it makes you wonder, like, you know, during this treatment process, if she's learned things, if these like therapists and counselors that she's working with or the courses that she's taking are saying like, listen, being on reality TV on national television is like not in your best interest if you want to move forward from this. Who knows? But also,
But does she
it's a
want to move
paycheck for
forward
her.
to it?
What's
Like,
she gonna do if she doesn't do Vanderpump Rules?
I have it would be
I
very hard
don't know
just
if
to
she's
like
gonna
be
go
like a
back working
server
at SUR.
anywhere else. Oh, she couldn't go back working at SUR. Like you would have to like move somewhere
Should be
else.
so ridiculed. Like all the fans would come in and be like, I don't want her as a server. Like
Peter would
she'd
still
get
take
no
her.
tips.
Peter
would still take her.
Oh, that would be so sad. No, she would have to go somewhere else though. She just couldn't do it. But I know that her and Tom are still talking because we just got photos of them when he was on the flight. Even if the rest of the cast didn't film with them, if they just like had like their own like little, not like spin-off, but if they were still like part of it, but they just showed them, everyone would watch that. Like if they're like still talking, no one's not going to. Tom Schwartz will still talk. Heck, if they bring back Jax and Brittany, Jax will do anything to get on TV and he'll play like the in-between. Peter will do it. Like they still have some, not the strongest people in their corner.
I could see, because remember we did that story about like Sheena on her podcast had said that she didn't want, or she hadn't gotten an apology from Raquel yet.
Yeah.
I could see maybe Sheena agreeing to sit for like one scene where like they go to dinner or something and have like a sit down or at someone's house and say like, this is how I felt. This is what you did to me. You betrayed me. Like just Raquel and Sheena one-on-one.
Did Sheena say that on her podcast before the reunion?
No, she said it like only like a week or two ago.
Why
that she
Raquel
hasn't
still, because
that she hasn't blocked Raquel yet, because if Raquel wanted to reach more so she was seeing if Raquel was going to reach out and give her an apology. Well, you think
she would have saying that, like seeing from the reunion, Raquel being like, hey, I wish I would have sent Sheena a letter.
Right.
So you think like right after that she would have
said something.
What?
I know.
Oh my God. Okay, I could talk about this forever. But
we will have much more.
Yes.
I think there will be much more to talk about this next week, because I think next week will be juicy with it being the finale.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. But on to another amazing reality TV show, Selling Sunset.
I finally finished. Have you watched? I finally finished.
I finished it in one weekend. I'm kind of mad at myself.
I usually am like that, but I'm bad. I finally finished it the other night.
Yeah.
God, why did they wait until the Palm Springs trip? It was like 6 episodes of giving me nothing. And then finally they go to Palm Springs on like episode 6 or 7. And I'm like,
yeah,
finally something worth watching.
You didn't like it? You were very hard to please this morning with your reality TV.
I just thought it was a lot of fake staged nonsense in the first several episodes, and I was like almost at a point where I was going to drop out.
Yeah.
But then the Palm Springs trip came and I was like, okay, this is insane. And then Chrishell makes the crackhead accusation
that was so bad against Nicole,
which was insane.
And
I don't even know how they can like legally air that without.
Well, I'm sure like Nicole has to give consent, but Nicole actually, we shot her out, and she says that she wants to drop it all and move past it all with Chrishell.
Right.
Are you taking any action? I know that you reached out to a lawyer.
Right now, it's not something that's on the table.
Okay. Has Chrishell, I know you got a lot of death threats, has Chrishell reached out to you since?
We haven't spoken. No.
She said she told us yesterday for you to repair the relationship if you wanted to reach out. Do you think that's something you do?
I mean, I have hopes that we can just come to an understanding that we can coexist. And I think, at this point that's healthy for both of us.
Yeah.
For everyone that's around us. And, it's just, at this point, it's like, I don't need to spend any more time.
So I feel like that's the best in her interest to actually do that, because Chrishell kind of blew Nicole's cover saying that we were cool before the filming, and Nicole came on and targeted me to like get a storyline. But that wasn't even my best storyline. Brie Tiesi, Nick Cannon's baby mama, she brought it. And that's why I was like, I can't believe it took you till 6 seasons or till 6 episodes.
It took me a minute to warm up to her. I kind of I think got more sympathy for her when she had that one-on-one right before they went to Palm Springs with Amanza.
Yes.
And they went and had girl time, had a drink, talked about the whole co-parenting thing.
I do love when she refers to herself as a model, though. And I'm like, you were a rock star drink girl. We've all been a drink girl, and that's not a model. Like, that's not a model.
We all had a Model Mayhem account one day, girl. No, I think it was once she had that conversation with Amanza, just because both of them are co-parenting and single moms, that I got a better understanding of her story and what she's gone through and what she's going through and what she has to, deal with. Not that like Nick is a bad father. It's very clear they have a great relationship. But yeah, it took me a little bit to warm up to her. However, I will give her the credit. She's the only realtor this season that's brought on like celebrity clients.
Yes.
She's had like three.
She's
had
had
three of them.
three celebrity clients.
Yeah.
None of them else have, and some of them didn't even show houses this season. They were just like showed up at other like houses.
Chrishell and Emma, like the first episode, they're like, "Oh my god, and this is Harry Styles' former house." And
I
I'm like,
know.
okay, but you're not selling Harry Styles'
his house. Like, I wish you were selling Harry Styles' house, but like, no. What like a little teaser.
And then Brie came in with what was it? 2 athletes and maybe an actor. I'm drawing a blank on the names, but she brought people like UFC
of
fighters, notoriety.
Yeah, and a boxer. But I was shocked. Jason and his girlfriend broke up. We posted that story yesterday on TMZ.com that him and his girlfriend broke up. She was on this season so much he even left the office for like 3 weeks, which he never does, to go be with her.
And I actually liked her on the show. I mean, she wasn't on that much, but she was very comfortable in the scenes they filmed together. And I was like, wow. I was thinking like if they lasted together, like I could see them bringing her on as a cast member. That's obviously not going to happen anymore.
No. I mean, that would be good because now he would have 4 of his exes on the show. Because I didn't realize that Jason also dated Nicole.
Nicole, yeah.
Yes.
Like forever ago.
He's dated all of his employees.
Because Nicole's been at the group for like 8 years.
She was before
Any
Mary.
of them. Yeah.
Even like Nicole, Mary, Chrishell, and then this girl that he recently just broke up with.
I will say.
Very hot.
I might get crap for this, but the show misses something with Christine. There's an element missing without Christine being there.
Well, because she was one of the OG people and she brought it. And like she like knew how to like read people. And she was also fun. She was very light. It wasn't so like serious. And she was very playful.
It's very clear that Chelsea, who I've warmed up to, I do like Chelsea.
Yes.
And Chelsea, I do think, is bringing the fashion this
Oh,
season out of
1,000%.
any of the others. I do think Chelsea has tried and is doing okay, not as well as Christine, in stepping into that like villain role. Like she plays it in a way.
Well, she lost her partner. Christine was her partner last year. It would be hard.
I mean, she's not horrible. I like her.
No.
I like her a lot. That skirt she wore that one scene where she said she had to like not wear it in the car.
She had a dress in it. It was like a pure like leather thing. It was so hot
like
though. It was so good.
Like a belt that the UFC fighters wear.
I know.
It's crazy.
Well, this is another show I could talk forever, but
forever and ever.
Forever and ever. But we have to get back to our work. But
we are out of time.
I know.
Thank
you guys can
for
download
joining
your
us.
podcast wherever. Google, Spotify, watch it on YouTube.
We'll
wherever.
see you next time.
Yeah.